We are already behind schedule by 5 minutes, and we're just going to start and get to the discussions of the day. I'll start by introducing the guests in our midst. I'd like to welcome Mr. Sonny Dafe, Sonny Sylvester. Okay, yes. He's a board member, SCT Secondary Education Board. Mrs. Emeje Nanre, she's the Director, Secondary Education Board, SCTA. We have Mrs. Alleviating Hajara Titilaya, Director, Youth, FCTA. We have Mrs. Nancy Bulus, the President, National Council for Women's Societies, FCT Chapter. We have Mrs. Agnes Utahats, Director, Gender Services, FCTA. I'm sorry, I'm not calling this in any particular order, just bear with me. We have Mrs. We have Mrs. Felicia Awogu, Director, Social Services, FCTA. Thank you for coming. We have Mrs. Rekia Ibrahim Atta, Nollywood actress and helpline ambassador. Thank you very much for coming on. And we have Dr. Adamu Jatona Noma, Director, FCT Universal Education Board. Okay, we also have, Hajia Barrister Safia Umaru, the Acting Secretary of the Social Development Secretariat at FCT. You're all very welcome. We have our friends from different organizations across the CSW community. We are glad to have you here. The theme for this parallel event is non-profit revolving loan scheme, key to alleviating extreme poverty among women and girls. We understand the challenges that the society faces. In the past few days, we have shared experiences at different events. We know what the challenges are. Thank you very much for coming. And Mrs. Husseina Usman, President, Defense Intelligence Officers' Wives Association. Thank you for your presence, ma'am. Welcome address.
Good morning, everybody. The Chair, Acting Secretary, Social Development Secretariat. Haji Umar, you're welcome, ma'am. Distinguished members of the High Table, distinguished participants, you're all welcome to today's gathering, which is knowledge gaining, knowledge sharing, and moving forward in issues of child protection, women protection, as it relates to our country. I want all of us to relax, gain as much knowledge as we can gather, run with it, make sure that in your little corner, beginning from the family, we begin to remove all forms of discriminations, marginalization of women and children. Let the awareness, let it start from our families. So once again, I just want to say welcome and enjoy all the deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am, for that welcome address. We've been charged to run with all the solutions that will be proffered here today and see how we can start from our families. We'll take the keynote address from Hajia Safia Umaru.
Good morning. delighted to be here on this very special August occasion in March. However, the theme, women equality, women participation, has been on board for quite a long time. So many treaties, policies have been put in place in order to see the equal participation. Maybe we're talking about 25-50 participation level. We're not talking about equality in itself, but then we will need at least to some certain extent with all the policies that has been put in place to have attained about maybe 40, 45 to 50%. Well, in Nigeria is a partner to all the policies propounded, to all the treaties, and Abuja, as you know, is the federal capital of Nigeria, and it serves like a state and the seat of government. It has always been a forerunner in the implementation of policies that are propounded. We in the Social Development Secretariat, we are a machinery to disseminate, to implement the policies being propounded on women equality. With me here, as she has just spoken, is the direct agenda. We have keyed into, FCT has keyed into so many of the policies, which the social protection being the latest. And to that extent, I'll be pleased to tell you that in Abuja, we have state-of-the-art facilities developed, built, and we run a lot of empowerment programs, like we have the Ushapa Bill Clinton Coterie. When Bill Clinton visited Nigeria, he was privileged to visit the Ushapa Coterie, and he even made a pledge. We have the youth center. I have the director of youth here. She has always been running programs of empowerment, women empowerment, youth, and the elderly, all in the process of trying to get women on their feet. We have what we call the Kulu granite oil mill. Women are trained to be on their own. We have the Zuba Women Development Center. We have the Kuje. We have the Gwagwalada. All these are very vital machinery put in place by FCT in order to see that women are on their own and they're able to participate meaningfully in the socio-economic activities. And I want to say that to quite some extent, FCT is at the advantage because I believe from the records before me, from January to December, we have trained over 1,500 women on various skills acquisition. And from January to early March, the Youth Center has carried out youth programs, specially concentrated for women, the youths, like in the NYSCs. We train them. She has trained over 500 youths, especially the girl child. This is all funded by the Federal Capital Territory. And We have a rehabilitation center where we pick up the vulnerable women, we take them to that places, we give them some kind of training, and we give them starter packs so that they can start up some of economic activities. We're not leaving the extreme vulnerable out of the program because the extreme vulnerable are equally our priority. We have the Young Boje, which is a leprosy colony. We run various programs there, and especially the women on the issue of education, on the issue of maternal care, on the issue of agriculture. The Ministry of the Federal Capital Territory funded through a subvention, and such programs are always on board at quarterly basis. And the Federal Capital Territory, the minister is always ready for any program that will enhance women advancement and participation. I'll be pleased to tell you that in my secretariat, women are the domineering factor there. And I'll honestly be pleased to tell you that in the Federal Capital Territory, the ratio of women participation to men participation is about 4 to 5, 55. Because for every department you will see women in high places. So I'm happy to tell you that. In the Federal Capital Territory,
we are getting somewhere. Like my acting secretary has rightly put it, government has been very proactive in attending to issues as it relates to women and children in the FCT. It is our priority mandate to ensure that gender equitable FCT guarantees equal access to social, to political, to economy, and to wealth creation as it relates to women and children. We have an enabling environment to achieve that. But I want to quickly point out something, that we've had partners, consortium of partners, international partners, who had helped us for a period of time, particularly you said Nigeria, in collaboration with other international partners like Wesley, like SMILE, Catholic Relief Services. They have helped us. They went into the rural area, into the 4 area councils. They picked 4 area councils and went down there to empower the poorest of the poor among the community. And they had a target of 6,000 households, and they were able to achieve more than 95%, which was very, very critical before the project rounded up last year, March, about this time. I think they deserve a round of applause. It was a well-articulated grant that they gave to this household. As we speak, the Federal Capital Territory Administration is also doing something which she had mentioned, that our officers, our enumerators are in the field, they're in Kwale, they're in Gwagwalada, and Kuje Area Council, getting to the bottom of the pyramid to reach out at those very needy, destitute families. These are communities that the community members identify who the poorest of the poor is. that need to be empowered. And the good news I have for you is that all the caregivers who man these households are women, because women have integrity. They give them ID cards, they have profiled most of them. They are just awaiting that stipend of about 5,000 naira to be able to take off a trade of their choice. In the Social Development Secretariat, we work in synergy with other departments. No department is isolated or is on its own. Because we have a robust synergy and we have cross-cutting issues. The social welfare, for instance, empowers women and children with special needs. Because of their peculiarities, they painstakingly train them on skills that will be beneficial to them. They make sure that those needs, like weaving and the design materials, they do biddings, and they do trades that are stress-free for them. And they have consultants that guide them to be able to come up with something that they can be that will be of benefit to them. Also, they help children who ordinarily will say drop out from school. We don't use that, but they help them, give them a skill that will help them to stand on their own. Well, it's not all about formal education. It's what they can do for themselves. And they've trained a reasonable number, up to 300 or something just last year, to ensure that these people are all carried along, and inclusive and all-inclusive empowerment to us in the Social Development Secretariat. It's so very, very critical. Yes, despite all these gamut of interventions, we have challenges. And she has rightly pointed out one of them is funding. We need funding, and we need funding. The other is synergy. We cannot do it alone. She has already pointed out that government cannot. That's why Helpline Foundation is helping us create this window, this platform, where we are able to air out some of our challenges. We need more synergy. We need to have more ICT to be able to come up with detailed performance chart that will be able to speak on the same platform all the time. So the challenges are numerous, but they are not insurmountable. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'd like to invite Dr. Jumai Amadou to, in the next 6 minutes, just talk more on what we're doing.
Thank you very much. I think most of the things that I needed to say has been captured in the video. But like I said earlier, we are just out here telling the stories of these women who are living in extreme poverty among us, and what they need to make life meaningful for them is so little compared to what we think that they might need. You might be there believing that you might need to give this woman like 100,000 naira. That is not what she needed. From the baseline survey that we conducted, as little as 5,000 naira can start a woman with a business. Like that woman said in the video, she only needed to buy a load of beans, a bottle of oil to start making bean cake, and that has really, really helped her and her family. So on this note, I would like to invite our ambassador, Mrs. Reiki Ibrahimata, to shed more light on this issue that we are discussing before.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, this ambassador has a very bad voice this morning, but I'll try. I'll try as well, thank you. It is funny, sir, when they say ambassador, you need to clarify that it's the Helpline ambassador, you know. Thank you very much. This is a part of it I'd have to ask and beg your indulgence to commence my talk on the existing protocol. Thank you very much. You know, I often thank God that I'm born in a generation that has found a solution to ending poverty. And in simple terms, it is called empowerment of women. I think that's what it is called. In short. We have heard a lot of things today, and from that video we've also seen some of the efforts that our sisters are making. And I don't want to isolate Nigeria and say that this is something that is peculiar to our country. I know that there are people who may be seated here from other countries, sister countries in Africa. And I know also that these issues are not peculiar to Nigeria. The woman's issue is a worldwide issue that we all need to look at. There's any questions today that have been asked that I'd like to, sitting down here and seeing what Helpline Foundation is doing, not because I'm one of the ambassadors, but because I know that they're doing a big job. I'd like to give a big round of applause to Helpline Foundation. Challenges are there. Sometimes we look into, institutional setup, and we say there are banks, they are there, and then they may tell you if you walk into a bank that they have loan schemes for some of these women. But then there are issues. There's collateral. There's education even sometimes to be able to fill the forms that she needs to access it. And then she also told us a story about how, and I can think of several examples. A woman collects 20,000 naira. She will overpay that 20,000 naira like almost twice, and she's still indebted because she has to pay the loans back. We could sit down here today, really, ladies and gentlemen, and talk stories that touch the hearts, so we say in Nollywood. Stories that touch the hearts. But I hear big questions. The biggest question that I've heard today is, how will Helpline Foundation continue to support even more women? She said, we have grown from how many women? 100 to 500 women. Nothing gives you fulfillment like when you see the smile, the relief in another life that you have helped. And if life gives us essence at all, we want to see that we have helped another person. I'd like for these sessions to be as open as possible. It's a call for action, for ideas. What can we do to make these things better? We don't make little anyone who is in this room. You might have ideas, you might have suggestions, you might have connections. You might even be willing to be a partner on this platform. And we're calling today, Fumi, we had forms because we know that we're doing this within a very limited time. And so we've also given out some forms, I hope you have one, to continue this conversation even after this time. In which case we would expect that you write further solutions or anything, your suggestions that Helpline Foundation can carry forward. Thank you very much. What I have done is there's a little paper that is also going round, and that paper was written by my son. I thought I'd share it. I don't know, maybe because I'm his mother, and I've come to be where I am in life against all odds. Trust me, against all odds. And one day he comes back and he went to buy akara. And then he went and he bought so much. I'm like, son, why did you buy so much? He said, Mommy, she probably has children. We didn't need it, all the akara, we couldn't eat it. But then he bought almost everything she had. And he brought it home. So I'm coming in and I said, what do you really think about the strength of an African woman? He says, Mommy, all she needs is very small. Very small. And she has capacity to multiply. It's little money. Helpline Foundation is doing the much that they can. It's relieving to know that I can collect money that I'm not owing double that money for. That's a little story. I might not sit down and read all of it because I want us to engage in that time, but if you do have a copy, read it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. The revolving loan scheme and other social protection policies of the FCT that we're all gathered here talking about today came about as a result of brainstorming, sharing ideas and knowledge. And really, that's what we want to do today. We don't want to just, we know all the sad stories. We know how poverty is like really dealing with people back home. But this scheme started because somebody, a group, an organization believed that nothing is too small to give and no one is too poor to give. And now we're beginning to learn that nothing is too small to even improve the lives of these women at the grassroots. So we want to open the floor to, let's just share ideas. We, as much as possible, don't want to talk about the challenges. So we're just going to take a few comments and questions, but we would really, really appreciate if we can have suggestions on what more we can do. Yeah, start from you. Please, if you'd like to make a comment or suggestions.
Thank you very much. Hi, good morning. My name is Sonny Monidafe. As they were speaking, I was taking notes. Now, my own is to always look for solutions. We know the problems everywhere, for solutions. On that note, I want to commend you for this, because truly you are doing a lot. And the ambassador, what's it about us don't touch my heart, because I had it in about 21 years ago with my church, and the pastor named it preaching spirit of poverty. You go to the market to buy food stuff from a woman, a basket of vegetable, tomato, or maybe alehu, whatever. And the whole of that basket costs 500 naira. You go to buy for 20 naira, we want to bargain, and then we give 50 naira, we want to get change. And if you look at it, you spend 5,000 naira to buy the child airtime. And just do it like that, talking. So for me, the solution is I have gotten involved. Ambassador, I want to force myself to be an ambassador. I'm a woman, but I want to join.
You're welcome. I'm here to recruit more ambassadors.
Yeah, because truly, maybe we don't know these things. We don't know. But somebody out there needs just 5,000 naira. In my church, we have this widows scheme. We sponsor widows. And my wife and I just said, let's take on one, 10,000. It looks small, but every month we send 10,000 to that woman. Her life is transformed. She's so happy. 10,000 times 12 months, 120,000 naira. It might be small for you, but it's very big for her. So I want solution. We want solution. Ambassador by force. We want solutions. For me, I'm an ambassador. I will do my part in terms of helping, do my, and then I'm a member of the school's board, FCT, Second Division Board. I supervise the curriculum division to do with NGOs that deal with the children that are going to be mothers very soon. We will make sure we establish that trait in them already, so that they are ready to take the world by storm. Having said that, that widow I helping, she might have a child that's going to be an Albert Einstein or a president. You never know. Helping her will enable that child to become who or he or she will have been as God created him or her. On that note, I want you to just think, let's continue to make this one a better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Please give it up for the he or she. Thank you. I'll take, before you respond here, I'll take one. Please, your name, just introduce yourself.
I'm the Celestine Kese. I'm the founder of Beacon of Hope Outreach, USA and Nigeria, and I just started to develop the Girls Initiative. I'm a nurse by profession, and I started the organization trying to find the cause of the poverty and how to alleviate the cause. Because if we keep solving the problem and we don't address the cause, it will keep repeating. And it's not just about money. When you come and ask us to help with money, it puts some of us off in that we could bring more to the table than money. Talents and whatever can bring. So like in the recent program I just did, on the girls. You see the girls wanting us to have a parent forum. We're talking about women, but these girls are the girls that will become future women of substance. So my own contribution here will be, can we develop a mentorship program for these girls so that the circle of the women, them being like their mothers. We can talk more about it. I don't have the time for that. But I would like to contribute in terms of the programs, because I run empowerment health program in which I empower during my mission people with health and wellness, teaching them how to make soap, to take care of themselves, to save that money to go buy soap. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we go ahead, I'd just like to take a response on...
Just to briefly answer her, we realized the point you just made. That was why in 2017, Top Life Foundation started the program which we call the Girl Realize Your Potential program. So every year, we call them together, and outside that, we have what we call the Voice of the Girls Parliament, because we will not be in their respective schools. So we now have our ambassadors in these public schools, particularly because the children in public schools are those whose mother might be in the villages, they are in town as house help. The madams don't have much time for them. So we bring them out together every May 27, or the International Day for the Young Child. We bring them out. We bring out mentors, well-established women in Abuja, to come and talk to them, guide them through their career path, and follow up with that. And on that note, I would like us to have a discussion after this meeting so that we can strengthen that which we already started.
In this regard, we have a feedback form. Just a minute, please. We have a feedback form going on because we like your comments, your observations are very important to us. Please, we'd like all the suggestions to just be written down. We will get back to you and talk more about some of the programs we are already doing and some of the things that we can do together. Okay, before I go back to the floor, okay.
Just to add that if I look on the platform as an ambassador, and welcome the second ambassador, if I look on that platform, there's so much initiative that is going on. Whether or not it is an initial supportive one or a psychosocial supportive one, it is going on. And that's why I believe that there's resource in the room today. Please, if there's anything that you can do by information, by contact, that helps this platform, don't leave this room today without talking about it. There's so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Good morning, Protocol Officer. Alleviating from the UK. I'm glad to be here today because this is the area I'm passionate about, helping women and girls in terms of empowering them. I've been doing that with my partner, my husband, for 16 years now. Back in Italy, we had success stories of bringing people from the streets and now happily married. Also in the UK and back in Nigeria, I remember 2010 to 2012, I was going from school to school talking about moral and sex education. All I would say is that you are doing a wonderful job. I came late, but the little I've made now is awesome and I'm ready to support in any way. I want to also be an ambassador. This is my first time coming to the CSW. This is my first time and I've come to learn more and also to support those who are doing the same thing I'm passionate about.
Good evening, table. I'm loyal. My name is Dr. Mrs. Chikezie, and I represent WOPA. WOPA is an acronym for Divine Women of Purpose Association. This about women, it's something that I have great passion for. I retired from National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, voluntary retirement, to come and work with women. While in service, I saw women suffer. It's not something which I'm going to paint right here, because we're not going to get out of this place. But I saw women who suffer, women who sold all they have to make sure that they retrieve their children from drug abuse. I saw women languish. I saw women, in fact, it was a terrible thing, and I was like, what am I going to do to help in this situation? Then I had to retire voluntarily to pursue a passion to retrieve women from this poverty. And I started a program which where I work with women to empower them not just to giving money. Like I always tell them, I say, it's not about giving you money to start anything. It's about you discovering who you are. It's about you knowing what your dreams are and you pursue it. It's about you realizing that I have a purpose in life. Nobody is an empty vessel. There are great potentials in women that must be brought out, and for them to maximize it and pursue it and make impact. So what we do in our organization is gather these women, and through our what we call instant research analysis, find out what is your passion, what do you want to do. Then through psychological testings and analysis, we find out their areas of interest. In the rural communities, we do what we call food pantry and outreaches. And when they gather, we also do a need analysis of areas of skills that can help them. And then we begin to train them. In fact, we got to a point, this is our 5th year, and we're able to institutionalize a center for skill acquisition to impact the rural women. And for those of them that will go back to school, we encourage them and sponsor them to go back to school. And I must let you know that these are done by women who have same passion. What not any sponsorship. Somebody that was impacted by us, who was, showed a way out, sponsor said, come to this program. Since it is your passion, and that is why we are here. I commend you for what you have done so far, what I'm hearing since I came here. I'm impacted and I'm inspired, and I want to continue and run with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's really important. I see many hands up. Okay. All right,
my name is Kaneng from Jos, Plateau State. I have another angle. Violence in my area is creating poverty amongst women and girls. These are women who were originally in their homes, owning farms, and were able to take care of themselves and their children. All of a sudden, herdsmen, farmers, violence has caused them to end up in IDP camps. And we have so many in IDP camps now. And what my organization, Caring for Vulnerable Women and Children, is trying to do is to help these women come out of trauma and poverty. They found themselves in it. They were not poor initially. And they have children who are out of school now. And we're looking for schools to put them in, scholarships and so on. So this is our own challenge in the Middle Belt, especially in Plateau State. We have over 400 children out of school. We have a lot of women and widows. They have been widowed because their husbands have been killed. And a lot of them are traumatized. So what we try to do is to give them money to buy fertilizers for them, for those who still can go back to their farms, to buy fertilizers and seedlings. For those who cannot, we have to give them money, like you're doing out there in Helpline, to start trade. So this is our own peculiar situation, and anything that anyone can do will be.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. My name is Felicia. I'm from Ghana. Actually, I'm a politician and I also deal more with women. And what I do to help my women is, first of all, I make sure that they try to help themselves. In the loan scheme, we tried a number of times to get them loans, but they end up cannot pay back, or the business they go into, the business collapses. So what I do is I give the women and then tax them that everybody should pay, let's say, 5 cedis. So we get the amount of money and then we give it to one person. And then that's what in my country we call it susu. So we group them, everybody makes contribution, and we give it to one person. In a case where the person has nothing at all, then I go and look for funds. let's say $100 or $50, and then give it to the person to start business with. Because for me, I believe that you don't go for loan to start a business, but rather you get something or just some little money from a friend or a family person to start the business. So when I do that for them, then I kind of monitor them, make sure that they get some, the business go on well before we can acquire a loan. And in all this too, I also realize that education plays a role. I realize that the women, a lot of them are not educated. So how to manage their business, how to boost and bookkeeping and all that, they don't know. So I have an adult education school where I try to get teachers to teach them how to read and write. People come and talk to them about bookkeeping, how to manage their businesses. And I think I've not done too many, but the impact is great. So I think if we can also adapt to that, especially the education, it will help. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I agree with my told especially to stay strictly within a minute of sharing.
The potentials, the strength of a woman is not seen or it doesn't begin when she becomes a mature woman. It begins from the strength, from the level of a girl child. And that is why the girl child education is very important. You see it when the girl child is growing. And for us at the Secondary Education Board, I am the acting director, we have a curriculum built into the system, whereby we teach these girls trades, so that from that level, as they are going out, they have something that they go out with and they can sustain both themselves and their families. It may interest you to note that one of our schools is a girls' school, GGSS Abachi. Right now, under the trade subjects that they have been taught, are producing the sandals that they use in the school. And it's a girls' school. They are producing it and that is what they use. And then we have them like that. And these girls have also developed an app that is the only app in Nigeria that has gone into the IDPs to help them, bring them into clusters, and then help them to start small businesses. Our school, GGSS, and this is what they are doing in Nigeria. So we believe that if we begin to, it's not only the woman when she becomes mature, from the girl child education as they are growing, we believe that this extreme poverty can be broken. Thank you.
Yes, please.
My name is Lady Mary Ijon. I'm a Deputy Director in Social Development Secretariat. I want to talk on three things. One, I was so happy when we talked about sourcing for ambassadors. I want to say it here too, that we are here to source for ambassadors for us in all our programs. And for that purpose, we, with our minister in representation here, is passionately inviting everybody seated here to come back here on 18th by 10 a.m. to hear all that the FCT administration, the minister himself, and our secretariat is doing to tackle this poverty issue, because we have a lot to tell you. Two, I want to inform us here that because of the seriousness of finding solution to the issue of poverty in Nigeria, because we are usually, when we succeed, it moves to all the other states of the Federation, that the FCT minister is here in representation in the person of Hajia, seated here, that is the commissioner, 7th commissioner in one, tackling everything poverty in FCT. I also want to tell us that SDS is the poverty alleviation pool house of FCT, from girl child to women to youth to vulnerable people, and all the directors handling those areas that are all here in this venue. Thank you. Be here with us on 18th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the last one.
Good morning, high table. My name is Josué Tinola Jimo. I'm from FCTA. It's good, we've heard it. How many of us are ready to spread the gospel? If 1, 2, 3 of us go back home, there are a lot of people that have the resources, but they don't know how to reach out to give out. There was a day we're looking for something for fun from the church for a child that was about to drop out from school. One was to go to law school, did not have. I went to a family, and their son went in and gave us $200. The woman said, "Oh, I don't know, I'm not aware. How can I come?" I said, "Any amount you have." The woman gave us $100 for the one going back to law school. So there are a lot of people who have the resources, but they don't know how to reach out to others. Please, if you know them, reach out to them. Teach them how to give out and they will reach out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Gifty from Ghana, and I work with Ghana Education Center. I have my own NGO, that is Friends of Females in Global Economy. Now, the reason why I established this was that we realized that a number of women were sending their children to go and live with other people in most of the fishing areas, like Yeji, maybe Accra. Then when the children go there, they go fishing. So the trafficking was so much. We bring the children back, we reunite them to their parents, we go for monitoring, and we see that the children are back. So we realized that it was because of poverty. That was why a woman would send her own child out to go and serve someone else. So what I decided to do is that let me form this thing and organize the women and try to help them. So what I do is that I'm a counselor myself. We call them and ask them what they would wish to do. Some would want to trade, some want to learn skills. So we started organizing a program called Doing Good. Then we invite other dignitaries in the community and even outside the community. So when they come, these people come to talk, and those who are touched, give them maybe sewing machine, things that they can use to do fishing, smoking fish, and a whole lot at the beach area, most of the beach town, because these are the people who sell their children out for money. So when we started that, we saw that a number of them were learning how to do hands-on activities. So we decided to do exhibition. You come and exhibit your wares, then we invite people to come and buy. And I think in a small way it's helping. Then those who also want to trade, we make them form association building. So that when they form the association, we get there to the association and we teach them how to save, how to use their monies well, not using it on clothing and funeral wears and all that. So this is how I started my own, and it is working. So now we've seen that the trafficking is going down a bit than the former days.
Thank you very much. And that's the last contribution we're taking. Not because we don't think the contributions are important, but because we know that we have given you that little paper and we can continue the conversation. There are certain things I heard, my sisters, which is the fact that in this room, even as we are here today, we have platforms to begin something, no matter how small, in partnership, even if it is in conversation. So please, if you are here, leave your address, leave your contact, and your willingness to continue in the partnership that begins today, in whatever little form, because Helpline Foundation will get back to you. I'd like to close by saying that this, in my life, entire life, the most support that I have gotten is from women. I'm serious. I am very serious. The most very significant, very unimaginable miracle is from women. So we must be able to support one another, because if we don't do that, then the conversation hasn't even begun. I thank you, Ghana. I thank you, Middle Bell, from Antikane, from Jos for sharing your story. But I do believe, I thank you, sister, for saying that people really need to be taught how to give. And I believe that we can put all those ideas together on one table and move not just Helpline Foundation, but every little thing and all the efforts that we're making together. Thank you.
My ambassador.
Yes.
And at Shopline also, together with ECHO's Africa Initiative, I just have to mention this here, we realized that the problems are so enormous. So for that reason, March last year in New York here at Hilton JFK, we inaugurated the African Women Conference. And it was inaugurated in March last year in New York. And we've had the maiden edition at Namibia in November last year. And this year we're going to Morocco, because we also know that the problems of African women are peculiar to us. We cannot apply, the solution we get from the Western world cannot be applied to our own particular environment. So we now started that conference, and it's for us to continue the conversation, identify our problems, and see how we can solve them. Yeah. So I would like to invite Ify, she's here in our midst here, to just come and say one or two things about the conference that we have started. She's based there in New York, the publisher of ECHO's African magazine. She also has a television program running in Nigeria now, in Namibia and South Africa, called ECHO Media Project.
Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. First of all, before I talk about the conference, I'd like to address my contribution to non-Africans here. I've had people over time tell me that, oh, Ify, I'd like to do something in Africa, but I heard that really there are not trustworthy organizations out there we could work with. And I tell them, I mean, in every society, I'm here in New York, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly in every society. But we have the authentic ones in Africa. These days we talk about convergence. The world has so converged that if we have a cluster of people suffering in Africa, the world is impacted. So if you'd like to help, you'd like to do something in Africa, in Nigeria, for instance, Helpline Foundation is one of those organizations. Matter of fact, it's the only organization I know for sure that would do what you want to do, what you want to achieve with your resources. This is the opportunity. I'm talking to my American compatriots here and the other non-Africans. Seize the opportunity to liaise with Helpline Foundation. Partner with them. Take out time, volunteer in the summer, go to Africa, go to Nigeria, volunteer, partner, touch a life out there. Having said that, she has virtually said all she had to say, all that's needed to say about the conference. The African Women Conference is a platform where we gather women from across the continent to talk about some of these issues that have been discussed today. Not just talk. We go beyond that. Sister Rekia was there, you should have seen her at the conference, very passionate. Jennifer was watching the video, I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, so yeah, it's a conference that on a yearly basis we gather to talk about the issues, not just talk, to really find out ways we can really walk the talk. After the conference, what do we gain from this particular conference? The issue in Namibia, we're really tackling with it right now. Hoping that before we go for the next conference in Morocco, we already have something worked out. We have something that we can show, okay, this is the result of the Namibian conference. It's not just a regular conference where everybody come and talk and do shopping and all of that. We really would like to make an impact in the lives of women. Like Sister Rekia said, women working for women supporting one another. I have been a beneficiary of that. I would like to be able to encourage, or I would like to encourage other women to really support women issues and women platforms so we can move. Thank you, we have a man, a he for she here, but we really have to be at the forefront. If the women are not at the forefront, the men will be there to support us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The chairperson will just round up by giving a vote of thanks, after which we'll all come. We have to leave the hall in the next 4 minutes, so we'll just take a vote of thanks in 1 minute and then we'll off. Okay.
Having heard everything that has been said, talking from the government perspective, I would want to say that all said well and good, that just like the other woman said, at the end, the donors want to assist, but they don't have that security to assist. But what I would say in this perspective is that I would appeal to all NGOs. Government cannot do it alone. Government cannot do it alone. At the same time, the NGOs cannot run autonomously. They must partner with government. That's the only security they have, because the government is the machinery, the government is the vehicle, the government is that will afford the umbrella body for anybody to come out and for any donor to come out and want to partner with any NGO, he will want to say, yes, you are with your government. Because this situation is a government problem. But the government is not able to handle it alone because the government does not have the resources to handle it alone. So all NGOs are working hand in hand with the government, and they should ensure that their data are fully kept with the government, and the government can stand in and support them. We have a subvention given to NGOs, but if we don't see you, how do we subvent? It's not that the government don't have subvention to give. We do have a subvention to give. Well, with this opening, I am appealing to all NGOs in Nigeria, in FCT, that our doors are open. They should come in, partner with us, and we will support them. We will stand as the big brother, the parent, through which any organization that wants to assist you will come out and assist you without fear, because the government is involved. It is well said. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you, our distinguished panelists. We just want to crave your indulgence to join us on the stage for a quick group photograph. Please, can we all just come up, just climb the stage, stand behind it? No, for the panelists, please, you can stay on your chairs. Some people